you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. How many of you watched 4th of July fireworks past weekend? All right, I see many hands raised up. I also watched it, and this was my third time watching 4th of July fireworks in the US. This year, it felt something different. As US was celebrating 250th anniversary of Declaration of Independence, after the crowds moved out and the sky went dark, I could not help but think about the visionaries and the ideas whose leadership led to this historic day. And coincidentally, on Sunday, I also happened to go and watch a movie called The Young Washington. This movie is based on the early life of George Washington, who was the first president of the US. And I was amazed by his evolution, which is depicted in the movie. Not only was he a great military commander, but he was also superb strategist, a unifier, and a nation builder. Why I'm describing so much? Because my current project in Toastmasters was about exploring my leadership style. One person, different situations, different responsibilities, and he could wear all of these hats seamlessly. When I reflect about leadership, I think it's not being static or being boxed under one quality. That's why I think even the pathway in Toastmasters is called as dynamic leadership. Now, there are many great qualities that make one a leader. Today, I'm going to highlight three qualities that personally resonate with me. The first quality is vision. We are living through one of the biggest transformations of our time. Any guesses? Well, it's the AI revolution. The organizations that are thriving today, they are the ones who prepared early for it, invested in their people, in the technologies, so that they can sail through that wave. I was also scrolling through some reports on LinkedIn, and I noticed that two like CEOs of two of the world's largest FMCG companies, namely Coca-Cola and Walmart, they decided to step down from their position because they believed that to lead the next wave of AI would require a different skill set and different vision. I have immense respect for them because they had this clarity that and that's why they created space for other leaders who could sail through this wave. And on the other hands, I'm sure you all would have come across news where some companies they do massive hiring and firing. This also reflects upon the leadership choice because leadership is not just responsible for maintaining top line and bottom line, but they're also responsible for investing in their people, skilling them, and making sure that they stay relevant. Okay, the next quality that I think is very important is empathy. In my early days in my current firm, I was new and I had to travel India, which is my home country, for almost a month. The time difference between India and US is 9.5 hours, which means if I have to work in Eastern time zone, I would have to stay awake very late in the night. My manager, he could have expected me to simply adjust, but he did something different. He made a thoughtful change and he moved the internal meetings, making sure that no other colleagues' time or client meetings they are adversely impacted. That was a small, thoughtful gesture, and it stayed with me forever. Sometimes leadership is not about big decisions or big statements. It's reflected through small actions, and it showed me that I'm cared, I'm valued. The next quality that I feel that is very important is empowerment. 2 years back, I was looking for an internship opportunity for a close kin of mine, and I was reaching out to every possible connection, to every network. One day during the lunch hour in office, I was casually chatting with my colleagues, and somehow the senior leadership of my firm they overheard this, and I was called in. I went inside completely nervous, thinking how that conversation would be perceived by them. But when I stepped out from their office, I was more confident. I was designated with designing and implementing an internship program for that firm. And that year, we onboarded 5 interns across different departments. That episode taught me something about leadership, that when you delegate, when you empower people, and when you interest them, by that process, you create more leaders in the organization. Now, reflecting on all of this, I can say that leadership is not about boxing oneself into one trait. It is about knowing when to hear which hat. Sometimes it could be empathy, sometimes it could be vision, or sometimes it could be empowerment. Sometimes it could also mean just listening quietly without giving a judgment, and sometimes it could mean taking a stand, even if the truth is uncomfortable. On concluding note, I believe that leadership is not a private title or an exclusive membership which is reserved only for CEOs or presidents. All of you here, all of us, we are leaders in some way. We could be leading a team, a family, or we could simply be leading our own lives. So, on that note, I want you all to reflect on this question. Are you leading in a way that feels most comfortable to you, or in a way that the situation actually needs? Are you leading in a way that feels most comfortable to you, or in a way that the situation actually needs? Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.